know you make me float, float, boy, you really give me high. Ooh, I feel like I'm on dope, dope, 'cause you serve me on a regular.
Is matted. He has had his first washing and he is no longer shiny. There is still bits of silicone on him, but I think the matting turned out pretty well. On the back, I see more white flakes or film on it, and I'll show you the back in a moment, but let's just kind of take a look at the details. I am very pleased with the tone. I even love the way his skin feels, so satiny and silky. I can see the modeling when we did the red. Oh, sorry for the shade. I had to come back to my dining room where the light is a little bit better because I have an overhead light. Whereas in my office where I've been painting, the light hasn't been quite overhead. So it casts a lot of shadows and it doesn't really give me the right saturation. But here is the detail on his legs. And you can see some veining. I did the veining very lightly because I knew that his skin tone would be on a lighter side. Kind of like, I won't say mine, but yeah, it kind of matches mine. We did shadow here. I really like that. I like the details on his feet. They're very newborn looking. His modeling is very newborn. Look at that. Let's look at the knuckles and the toes. Normally, I wouldn't want to do quite as white on the toes, but let me tell you, on the nails, but I will tell you now, that was so difficult to do. It is so difficult to tip white on silicone. All right, so then his navel stub turned out perfectly. At least that's the way my children's, I remember my son's looking like that. And I see one of his birthmarks right here on his wrist, which was a painter mistake, but it's now a birthmark. There is some speckling. I think that comes from the brush. Here's another little birthmark right there. Now, there is one significant birthmark. Let me sit down a little bit. Okay. And that is on this arm. That is pretty significant, but it allows me to know, how to address. This is from going from one side to the other. And if your paint, if you don't come back and pounce that, even though you think you've pounced everything and you've seen me pounce, it will, after you're done with the kit, I shouldn't say after you're done painting that particular session, you still got to go back because they will, the silicone leaches the paint and the paint will start to rise and then it can start to drip. I hope that makes sense. All right, now, the eyebrows. What do you guys think of the eyebrows? Please leave a comment. I decided that I wanted to paint his eyebrows on instead of root them. What about the red shading under his eyes? Do you think that that went too much? Here are his ears. And also, yeah, when I ask for criticism, guys, I'm not going to take offense. I just want to know what you think because you're the consumer, right? So what are your thoughts? Ears, I love the way the ears turned out. And when I did the modeling on his face, I didn't want to make actual like blush, which I think looks so artificial. His lips, I will tell you something about these lips. I swore for a while that this baby had a cleft palate because this little cleft in his lip, above his lip, was moved over here for a few days. And I realized that has to do with how I lay this baby down on his face. So I have to be very careful with certain sculpts. The way you lay them, you could change the way the sculpt looks. Like for instance, this ear. This ear always had this little point, but now that line here isn't as defined. Also, guys, we have a mistake. I shouldn't say mistake. There's no mistakes in art. We have a boo-boo. But before I tell you what the boo-boo is, let's take a look at him on the back. And forgive me for turning him one-handed, but I'm holding the camera. Okay. From the top. Love the veining. I see a few discolored marks, but they don't look unnatural. And here is where the arm got stuck because I painted the side for some crazy reason. I thought that was a good idea. But luckily, I figured out that we don't do that. I love the way his hands look. And the definition of his spine, I like how I did that. And I don't know about, so with ethnic babies, my children, I have a boy and a girl, they each had like that blue bruising right here. And I don't know why, but that was a newborn detail. The back of the legs look good to me too. I like the veining. Here is a little mark, but that looks like a birthmark. And actually, if I put a little bit of red in there, that could be a little baby scratch. Okay, so what do you guys think of the back as compared to the front? I think the back turned out really well. Okay, we're gonna flip them again. Sorry, one-handed flip, little man. All right, here is a mistake, a boo-boo, not a mistake. And I have never had so many problems with the mouth, but do you guys see that tongue? The tongue has a split. So right there, which tells me, I don't know at what point the split happened, because I can see some white around it. So we're going back to the EcoFlex to do some more repair. I like the way his tongue turned out. His gums turned out pretty well. I like it. So we're gonna root today. And after we root little man, we're gonna root his eyelashes, and we're gonna root his hair, his head. And after we root, we will glaze, is that the right word? We are gonna put more silicone on his fingernails and on his lips and toenails, and we'll give him one final bath, and little man will be done. So I will reveal his name. And I've gone back and forth with this name, but I will reveal. It was where I hang the baby's clothes. So this is a 1-part silicone adhesive and paint base by Silicone Art Material. I can't really say where I purchased this. Wherever you buy Sam materials. So that could be McPherson's. It could be try McPherson's. That's usually, I think, where they have a lot of Sam. So it's called Sam 32. It works like the EcoFlex. In my opinion, the EcoFlex might even be better. Here, let's take a look at the inside of his mouth. Completely repaired, guys. Doesn't that look good? I don't know if you can see that. You know what? I stole a light bulb out of here. So instead of having 3 natural lights, I have 2 natural lights, and I myself can definitely see the difference. But yeah. All right. So before we get into the ASMR, let us take a look at what I'm going to use. I am going to use this German rooting needle, which is a 43 gauge. This has multiple barbs on it. This is a notch. I mean, like, if you want to use what I'm using, this is what you would order. And I got that from a place called Dolls by Sandy, or DBS. I think she might have changed it to, instead of just saying Dolls by Sandy. I see, like, at least on this side, 1, 2, 3, 4, at least 5, possibly 6 notches. And that's going to help me to capture a lot of hair. This is the hair that we're going to use.